Once upon a time there was an old woman, a little old woman, and she was very good at baking, especially sweet cakes. She had many, many grandchildren, some as big as you and some even smaller than you. And each one of her grandchildren were beloved. And one day one of her sons came to her and knocked on the door at the edge of the forest and said, "Mother, mother, soon a new baby will be born. Mother, will you come and be the cook for the naming? Will you bring all of your fine cakes?" "Very well," said the little old woman. "And mother, will you also bring a godfather?" "Oh, that will be hard. Can you not find a godfather yourself?" But by now her son had already returned through the forest to where he lived. And the little old woman thought, how will I find a godfather for the grandchild? Well, she began to bake, and she baked her sweet cakes. For a whole month she baked until she had a great heavy basket full. She put the basket over her arm and she took her little stick and she started hobbling off, and through the forest she went. And as she came through the forest to the darkest part, where there was a small clearing, suddenly springing out from between the trees was a wolf. "Little old woman, I'll eat you up in one bite, your basket, your stick, and all." "Oh no," said the little old woman. "Don't eat me up. I'd just be one small bite for a great hungry wolf like you. But I am going to a grandchild's naming, and when I come back, I will be full of sweet cake. Wait till I return, and then I will be a big bite for your hungry belly." Said the wolf. "You promise you'll come back the same way through the forest?" "I promise." And the little old woman went off, leaving the wolf behind. But she was shaking with fear for what would happen on her return. And she walked and through the trees until she came to the edge of the forest and over the hill and down the other side. And finally she came to a house, and outside the house was a man with a barrow, and in his barrow there were pumpkins that were large and round and yellow. And he was a cheery pumpkin seller. "Oh, little old woman," said the pumpkin seller, "why do you look so afraid and bent? Why are you shaking like that?" "Oh, when I come back from the naming of my grandchild, I'll be eaten by the hungry wolf." "Oh no," said the pumpkin seller, "I'll make sure that doesn't happen. Is that all that's troubling you?" "Well, there is another thing," she said. "I'm looking for a godfather for my grandchild." "I'll be the godfather to your grandchild," said the pumpkin seller. Just show me the way, and wheeling his barrow of pumpkins, he went with the little old woman until they came to her son's home. And there was a great celebration. There was music and there was dance. Delicious food was eaten, sweet cakes. Everybody ate their fill. "Old woman," said the pumpkin seller, "why do you look so afraid? Oh, soon I'll have to walk back through the forest." "You are a wonderful godfather," she said. "Everybody is enjoying the party. You are the life and soul, but I am fearful, for I will lose my life." "Don't worry," said the pumpkin seller. "Eat and drink and dance, for this is a party. Worry about the rest when the night comes." So again the music started, and people danced and played and clapped their hands. little old woman said, "Oh, pumpkin seller, now I must return home through the dark, dark forest, and surely the great wolf will eat me." "Listen," said the pumpkin seller, "look in my barrow and choose the biggest, fattest, roundest, yellowest pumpkin." Well, she looked in the barrow and she pointed to one of those wonderful round fat pumpkins, and he picked it out and he said, "You've chosen well, for this pumpkin is hollow. Climb inside, little old woman, climb inside." And she climbed inside the big round yellow pumpkin, and he pushed the pumpkin away from her son's house, and it went rolling up the hill and down the other side. And it rolled between the trees of the forest with the little old woman inside. And there, as it came to the first clearing of the forest, suddenly springing out before the pumpkin was the wolf. "Have you seen a little old woman?" And inside the pumpkin she called, "Neither a little old woman nor a big old woman. Roll, roll, little pumpkin. Roll, roll, big pumpkin." Except she didn't say it in English. She said it in Portuguese. And it's like this. Are you ready? "Nemvelinho, nemvelao. Nemvelinho, nemvelao. Cor, cor, cabecinho. Cor, cor, cabecinho. Cor, cor, cabafao. Cor, cor, cabafao. Neither a little old woman nor a big old woman. Roll, roll, little pumpkin. Roll, roll, big pumpkin." And the pumpkin went rolling and right past the big wolf and on through the trees. The wolf was smart and the wolf was quick, and he came running behind the pumpkin and overtook the rolling pumpkin by the time they got to the next clearing. "Oh, pumpkin, have you seen a big old woman? For now I remember she would have eaten a lot of sweet cake at the naming." And inside the pumpkin she cried, "Nemvelinho, nemvelao. Nemvelinho, nemvelao. Cor, cor, cabecinho. Cor, cor, cabecinho. Cor, cor, cabafao. Cor, cor, cabafao." And the pumpkin went rolling even faster and right past the wolf. And on it rolled and through the forest. And now, well, the wolf wasn't such a fool. He came dashing and at all speed came past that fast rolling pumpkin and came to the third and final clearing and leapt out before and said, "Well, pumpkin, whether there's a little old woman or a big old woman, and whether she's coming or not, you will satisfy my hungry appetite. I will eat you up in one big swallow." Oh, the little old woman was so afraid inside the pumpkin, but she cried, "Cor, cor, cabecinho. Cor, cor, cabafao." And the pumpkin went rolling through the trees even quicker than before, and rolled so fast past the wolf that the wolf, although he leapt, he did not catch it. And the wolf came running after the pumpkin at all speeds, but could not catch it. And inside the pumpkin she cried, "Cor, cor, cabecinho. Cor, cor, cabafao. Cor, cor, cabecinho. Cor, cor, cabafao." But the pumpkin went rolling so fast and all the way through the forest to the very edge to the old woman's house and right through her front door, and she jumped out of the pumpkin and she slammed it shut just as the wolf went crashing into the door, and inside her house, why, she danced with joy.